All right, that is a wrap on exhibition season. And it makes sense that they call it exhibition season because it felt like a little mini season, didn't it? 8 games in the books, done and dusted, and we can now look forward to the regular season. But we will break this one down. Some of the fellas competing for spots, how they make out, which way do we think it's going to go? Struds and I got your back with all the analysis after this game tonight. Chris Knobloch with the new contract. We'll discuss that as well. And Alec Regula talking a little bit about his journey back towards professional hockey. We'll hear from him as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. As always, our show brought to you by Timber House Developments. Dream, design, build, service. It's the commitment to process that helps their team create some of the finest custom homes in Edmonton. If you're thinking of a garden suite, infill developments, or fully custom home, talk to Timber House. If you can dream it, they can build it with a full team of in-house designers and decades of construction experience. They will help you bring your ideas to life. My Timber House studio will be coming to life. It isn't right now. This is underwhelming right now. That's because we're ready to get rocking and rolling on it. So the material is sitting over here. It'll soon be on the wall behind me, and it's going to be sharp and biophilic. Looking forward to it. Welcome to the show. Struds is on board, as is Steve Taylor, as Zuby has taken the night off. Well, Struddy, 8 games. Finally done. Finally done, buddy. The rookies have done all they can to try and state their case and stake their claim. It's so much a bigger deal for these guys with so much on the line, hey, than the vets who are just trying to get through, getting the engine warmed up and not get hurt.
Oh, 100%. And they know it. You know, they Howard, Philp, Savoy, Regula didn't get a chance to play, but all these guys, they're working. It's exciting. These games are like their Stanley Cup Game 7, for them to try to make their case to stay, starting lineup, get their chance to play. So it's exciting for them. But you're right, for the vets, I mean, we'll never see this again, or at least in the near future, we won't see more than 4 games. And I think it's great for the vets, not good for the young players.
It's going to be interesting to see just how much the shape of training camp changes. Like, this is a lot of opportunity for guys to find their footing. Like, think about Ike Howard, where he started and how he looked in that first couple of games. Well, if you don't find your footing in the first couple of games next year and you're a young guy, Struds, there might not be a game 3 and 4. Like, they're going to have to, it's going to be interesting how different it's going to be next preseason.
Well, it's funny you bring that. I was talking to another NHL alumni, Wayne Gretzky. No, just kidding. It wasn't him. But what we talked about is maybe there'll be more kind of small area games, more kind of situational play than you kind of see in training camp. I know there's some, but maybe there's days that are specifically geared towards putting these guys in situations, right? 5-on-5
like
down
go
low.
half ice? Like split the ice in half and play 3-on-3 each side? Like they do in minor hockey or whatever?
But maybe just more game specific. Not that the coaches don't. I don't want to suggest they're not, but they'll even do it more than normal to kind of put these guys in those situations that are kind of game ready. Because, how many games can a guy really play? Are young guys going to get into 3? Let's say the Oilers have a first round pick this year and they take it. Now, probably a bad example, but would he get 1 or 2? He's not getting 4.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if he gets
for sure. Yep. Well, that's for next year. Why are we already talking about next year's preseason and this year's just ended? Goodness sakes, let's move on. Let's get to our game breakdown brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House during every Oiler game day at any Edmonton and area location. Enter to win Oiler home game tickets at Rogers Place. Plus, enjoy $1 off Molson Canadian and Coors Light tankards. 30-plus beers on tap, 50-plus TVs at all locations, and the biggest rooftop patios in all of the land, Canada. All right, Struds. So tonight was a look at a reasonable facsimile of what opening night lineup is going to be. They generally do that for these final exhibition games. And what we found was Matt Savoy skating on was that the 3rd or the 4th line? A 3rd or a 4th line. Ike Howard skating on a 3rd or a 4th line. getting the type of minutes in tonight's game that they're probably going to get from whatever perch they start the regular season. Bit of a different feel for these guys who are used to playing a lot. Taking a look at the minutes played, you had 11:28 for Howard. You had 12:26 for Savoy. These two, trying to solidify themselves and get more and more comfortable each night, Struds. But this is the role they're going to play to start the year. What did you think?
I thought Savoy was skating incredibly well today. He was fine, and there was a shift. I think it was in the third period. There's a bit of a chip puck out to their blue line, and he blew by the D-man way up, got the puck up, somewhere around between the top of the circles and the dots for Canucks end, and drove the net and got a nice little chance on it. I couldn't believe the burst of speed he's shown. And I know he's fast, but he was absolutely flying there. So that was good speed there. He was on the puck again. I don't think my opinion of him and where he should be on this team hasn't changed at all. I think he solidified his spot tonight.
How about Howard?
Howard had, he was also skating. I didn't see him. I didn't feel like he was able to create those same type of moments. Not every game it doesn't quite happen. Last game he had 2 apples. Tonight wasn't quite pretty. I wouldn't call it a tight checking game. It was fairly close, but it was a little bit sloppy. Good tempo though, I thought throughout. So I think the players got a better sense of it. But it doesn't. I don't. Watching him tonight doesn't mean I don't want to see him in the opening night lineup. I think he probably gets that kick if he can. But it's not as clear cut as what I'm feeling with Matt Savoy.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that Savoy's overall game, he's been able to be more effective and have more impact. Howard is looking for little moments here and there. Made a couple of nice plays. I love the fact that he was just willing to take a puck on the half wall and whip it on net and just take a shot, even though it was kind of a weird angle. Caught the goalie a little bit off guard. I like that. There was a nice little he had a couple of nice passes in tonight's game as well. It's going to be interesting to see how he fights for those moments with diminished ice time, which to start on this team, that's where he's going to land. Where do you want to go next, buddy? You want to talk about Tomashik? I mean, first unit power play time, third line center perch here. Like they are just piling the opportunity on to this player. What are you seeing?
They want him to be this guy. They want him to be the guy. I mean, that's clear. That's the second game in a row where they score where he's on, or not second game in a row. Yeah. Well, let's just say it's the second game preseason where they score where he's on the power play with them. He's out there. He made a nice pass to set up Kapanen for the one-timer, although it should be noted, I love when someone drives a net, and Evan Bouchard drove the D-man right back in to allow space for Tomashek to kind of make a little play, and Kapanen just walked down and took that right off the tee and just hammered it far post. So that was a nice play, a little bit of chemistry there. You can see Tomashek likes to make. He is a thinking player. He's he makes plays. Still a little bit worried about how quick he's going to be. Right when the game really ramps up and it's all NHLers, is he going to be quick enough? He's definitely smart enough. The quickness is still my concern as we get into game 1 here next week.
Noah Philp ended up going, let me grab him here, 3 and 5 in the face-off circle for 38%. Wasn't a great night there for him. What would you say overall about his night, Struds? Which way did he push? Which way did he nudge the can? Forwards or backwards for opening night?
I would say he didn't lose any ground. I think there were some nice moments where he won puck battles. He drew a penalty. He went to the corner, got it, was hanging on to the puck, and with one hand kind of threw it in front. A really good scoring chance that wasn't capitalized by his line mates. I think he held his footing in this situation. I would start him above Lazar in game 1. You?
Yeah, I would agree. To this point, everything that we've seen, I would agree with that. Lazar just hasn't stood out yet. You haven't watched a game with Lazar yet and gone, oh, okay, yeah, there it is. And he's just been there. He's just kind of been there. He's been okay, but he definitely hasn't created space between himself and anybody else that's in that same fight. And Philp has had nights where he did that. I don't think he did that tonight. I think he was fine tonight. I don't think he's had better nights, but this was stiffer competition as well. So I think he held his ground, and no one is no one's really beating the door down. Janmark, a week it's going to be for Janmark. That's going to open up a little breathing room in the bottom six for one of these guys as well. Sounds like Jones will be healthy by the start of the season, so we'll see. They're going to have to make some decisions here and do a little bit of shuffling. Struds, we also got to look at some of the special teams units, and maybe let's start with the penalty kill, because we know it's a new system. They've got some new pairings and some new personnel. I don't like the way this whole thing looks. And I know it's only preseason, so we won't go too hard on it, but it feels like they're playing really far off the D. It feels like the other team has the puck on their stick with lots of time to think about what they're going to do next with it. It's just this passive element that I'm not loving. So I don't know, explain this to me.
Watching it, I feel uncomfortable, and I think that if I'm feeling that way, the players on the ice are feeling it. The D right now, it feels like a shooting gallery because there's pucks getting to the front of the net all the time, and they are teeing off. And we saw in the goal, that was a little bit of a broken play. New doesn't get the full handle. Puck slides across. Mangiapane doesn't quite have the stick perpendicular to the passing lane. It's parallel to the passing lane. The puck zips by, and backdoor, the young Finn just absolutely hammers one home. But they just look very uncomfortable to me. I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to see what their plan is. I think they're having a tough time lining up right now with the shots. They feel like, when they spread onto umbrella, the Oilers are too narrow. And so the guys are outside of that, and they're able to get their shots through. So it looks like they're halfway there, and that's a really bad spot to be in when you're killing penalties. So lots of work to be done. I'm guessing, as people gear up for the regular season, maybe tomorrow's a day off, and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday or something. I don't know. There'll be a lot of time spent video wise and some execution wise on the PK, because it is very uncomfortable, very, very uncomfortable out there right now.
I don't like a penalty kill where you're asking your forwards to play off the D a little bit and kind of front pucks from distance.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, you want 97 and 29. I mean, they rolled out third to kill that penalty. There was a minute left.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to ask McDavid and Draisaitl to play off the defenseman killing penalties. Please tell me that that's not the plan. They know not to do that, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that, I don't think they should kill penalties, period, but I'm in the minority. But what it looks like they're doing is when the puck goes up high, the D-man, it kind of becomes like a 1-3 a little bit. Then as the puck comes low, then we kind of come a 3-1. So the D-man moves up when it's up high. The net front D kind of takes that bumper guy. Then when it comes back down, the top guy drops down, takes the bumper guy. Now D-man's in front. But man, it's a lot of skating. That's a lot of skating to cover a lot of ice for those top people, and very hard to get in front of shots. So I don't think we're seeing this even close to a finished product.
Well, they've had, I mean, that's the one thing about an 8-game preseason is you should have time to work some of this stuff out and have that looking a little bit better. We're going to get to that in our YouTube poll in just a minute. Actually, you know what, Steve, why don't you hop in here, buddy? Let's just get the YouTube poll out of the way right now, because really that's kind of what we've been talking about here. This is our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. Extend your golf season this fall and layer up with fall golf essentials. Buy one piece, get the second piece at 50% off. All Adidas footwear, 50% off, located at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. Steve, let's poll those. Just now that we've just blasted it, let's ask people how they feel about the penalty kill this year.
Yeah, that's right. So the question on the DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center poll tonight is simply, where will the Oilers PK finish this season? 3 answers for you. It'll be either top 10, middle of the pack, or bottom of the barrel.
Okay, well, we just went over all of that. I think Janmark will be part of that personnel when the regular season starts, if and when he's healthy to go, Strud. So there will be, and he's a good penalty killer. But really, I mean, they had Savoy out there killing penalties as well tonight, and we talked about that, whether he should be or not.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have to settle on 4. When you're bringing in a new system, I do think it's important to settle on your 4/5 people, forwards wise, and really get that dialed in. really kind of get this sorted out so that everyone understands, that's how we're going to do it. Then you can mix in other guys, casually as your third pairing or third, yeah, I guess the third pairing. But um, it just feels very awkward out there right now. And I know that feeling when you're in between and they're trying to sort it out, but they look, the four of them look very small. They look very, very passive, and feels like the puck's being zipped around, not so much through the box or through the triangle, whatever, the diamond, whatever you want to call it. And maybe that's the point, but they're not getting out to those shots. But maybe the goalies want those shots from out there, right? Maybe they're like, we'll stop those pucks from out there. We just don't want cross ice in front of us. That makes it harder to get across when there's shorter passes.
Phillips, Savoy, Mangiapane, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Draisaitl were the first three sets of forwards out in their first penalty kill in tonight's game. And again, tonight is very much a dress rehearsal. They're not going to be playing around with things tonight. Like, this is the night where you piece it all together and see how it looks and feels. So we're getting a bit of a sense of what their intention is, Struds. With Zach Hyman not available, Tomášek gets the first look on the top power play. Mangiapane not on the second unit, which I thought was interesting. Not on either power play unit. Trent Frederick out there on that second power play unit. And I don't know, I felt a little bit surprised by that. What do you think?
Tonight was Mangiapane's best game of the preseason. I thought he was around the puck, had multiple offensive chances, wasn't rewarded with points and or shots. Actually, a couple of times he didn't get a shot off, and the goalie made pretty good saves in that, or good decisions to force him out of that. But I thought he was skating. He had a bit of a interaction with who was it? Was it Quinn Hughes or no, Connor Garland in the corner? Like, I think that he was tonight kind of getting himself ramped up as the last game. So I liked his game. I am surprised he's on the power play. Is this going to be similar to what we saw with some of the free agents last year? And they're not getting their beaks wet on either unit, which makes it pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy's he's hoping to turn things around a little bit and, find some more offense than he has in recent years here. And just interesting, even with that second unit. And the second unit got, I give 40 plus seconds, I think, on the one power play there. I was a little surprised to see that. What are you thinking about Trent Frederick and McDavid and Draisaitl so far, Struds? And again, we'll keep throwing that caveat out there. But you got to think was a night where they were going to try reasonably hard. And certainly Frederick would be giving it everything he's got to be making it work on this line. But it felt like so-so returns tonight.
He skated really well. I thought he was, especially off the rush, he looks like he's skating way better than he did last year. And for me, that's something I've been watching for in this preseason. Yeah. Because last year, I don't know that he was even 60, 70% when we got to the finals with Florida. He had the nice chance, nice save for sure off the rush. Draisaitl passed over him, just wasn't able quite to elevate it. But, the goalie came out, put his hand out and kind of got it, although he didn't get up high enough. I don't know that this is a real long-term solution here. I don't know that Trent is just kind of a natural goal scorer like we saw from previous big men on the line, like the big guy that was traded and went off, Patty Maroon. Yeah, I don't know that that's, and they're different styles of players. I don't know that this is he's probably the best of what they have right now. I'm not sure that he's the exact fit. Again, I'd like to see him. There was a line today. Who was it? Podkolzin and Mangiapane and Nuge. I see Trent Frederick on that type of line. I'd like to see a Savoy or Howard beside Frederick, and then maybe a Podkolzin or something. I'd like to see that type of line together. I just don't know that he's this type of player to play at those guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with you. And bit of a bigger picture thought here. And it's not time to push any alarm bells or anything like that. Like, it's really not. You got to just let it play out and let the regular season start. But what I would say is I look at this lineup tonight and I just wonder where the supplementary scoring is going to come from on this team. I mean, Nugent Hopkins with Podkolzin and Mangiapane, like, Podkolzin doesn't generate a lot of offense. We'll see what Mangiapane can do. Nuge isn't necessarily an offensive driver on a line. He can produce when he's a complementary player on a line, but doesn't necessarily drive the offense. So, we'll see what Savoy can do, but really just getting acclimated to the league. So if he has 4 points in his first 14 games, that's the way it might go for that player. Ike Howard could be similar numbers. And I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm just saying without Hyman, and as I look at this lineup, outside 29 and 97, it just feels like there's not really much you can count on, is going to be there offensively for this group. And I think that it'll be interesting. That might be one of the early stories of the year here. So I don't know. We'll see. First 10 games of the year, we'll see where's the offense going to come from outside those big guys.
Day one, I said they should have them on different lines, Leon and Connor, so that they can kind of learn and get a sense of what it's like to play with some of these new wingers. And then those wingers get a sense of what it's play like to them. They put them together. And so one guy's got a sense of that. I don't think that was the play for this. I think you wanted, Mangiapane, you wanted Savoy, Howard, these types of new guys kind of get a sense what it's like to play with them. When you break those guys up, those lines now become much more dangerous, 100%. The fact that Hyman's not there is a real challenge because that's one less top six forwards, one clear-cut top six forward. I do believe, and we're getting way ahead of ourselves, there will be a forward traded for at some point this season. The D doesn't need to be tweaked. Goaltending, I'm expecting to get consistent. So now you're looking at a top six forward, and I think that'll be something they look for sure.
Be interesting to see how it plays out in the early going of the season. Let's get to our Relentless Player of the Night, brought to you by UCAN Youth Services and Edmonton charity, relentless in helping 16 to 24-year-olds step out of harm's way and into meaningful work. Make that change today, right here at home. Visit ucan.ca. Got your back, proud monthly sponsors of UCAN Youth Services. Struds, who are you going to give the Relentless Player to tonight?
Well, it feels like he's been in the NHL for a long, long time. And Sidney Crosby is not easing up at all in a massive tilt between Buffalo and Penguins. In the preseason, he helped them score the fourth and fifth goal. In fact, he scored the fourth and fifth goal for the Penguins, and they beat in overtime the Sabres. I always, it's just incredible. The guy just doesn't know how not to try, how not to win, no matter what is going on around him on his team. So that's the very definition of this title, relentless.
Haven't had a chance to watch the Amazon series that I believe it just dropped here, but I think we'll maybe get a bit of a feature look at Crosby. So looking forward to seeing some of that. If the curtain gets pulled back a little bit, because for as high profile a player as he is, it feels like we haven't seen a lot of kind of his world, his life behind the scenes, that kind of stuff. I don't know if we're going to get that or not, but looking forward to that series. Okay, that was our breakdown brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Quick break. When we come back, let's talk about the head coach and his contract. And did you hear Alec Regula today describing his path back to pro hockey? We've got that sound for you. That and lots more coming up in our next segment. You've got her locked on to Got Your Back, presented by Timber House Developments. Line Water and Sewer specializes in sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly. If you're considering a vinyl fence, don't be fooled by cheap marketplace imitations. Get top quality vinyl fence from a trusted company with 20 years in the industry. With locations in Calgary and Edmonton, check out dlrvinylproducts.ca. Paulie says, by the way, Shog, I used a sick day this week to finish Black Rabbit. Thanks for the pick. A little dissatisfied with the ending, though. Not going to spoil anything for you, people, but Jason Bateman's latest offering, along with Jude Law, worth a look over on Netflix. Always want to know what you're into these days. Always looking for a good show. Time now for takeaways, brought to you by HSE Core Services. From creating and managing safety programs to audits and those required contractor registries, HSE Core keeps your business compliant so you can keep working. If you've got your own business, you know this stuff can be a bit of a hassle and take up time. They want to help you out with it. www.hsecor.com for more information. 2-year deal for Ryan Huska the other day. 3-year deal for the head coach today, Struds. I made the point the other night. They have to get this done. You cannot go into the regular season with Chris Knoblauch not signed. It's a bad look, and it just puts him into this weird position where, heaven forbid you don't start well, then who knows what the heck is going to happen, right? Well, listen to the head coach, who almost went down that path today and caught himself when talking about the relief of this deal.
Oh, absolutely. In the NHL, you never know what's going to happen. Start off slowly, whatever. Just nice to it's out of mind, and now it's done, and now we're just worried about the regular season.
You start out slowly, just never mind. We all know. We saw it a couple of years ago, Struddy. But bottom line, this was going to get done, but important that it did, and good for Chris Knoblauch. It's been a nice little story here.
Yeah, well earned. Again, I'll say it. It doesn't matter what else is going on. This year, head coach, this should have been done a long time ago. I really feel that way. It should have been done early, soon as after maybe July 1st. But here we are. Doesn't matter. It's done. Now the team, the captain, know that for the next 4 years, this guy will be at the helm, which I think is really important for this group to know there's stability there behind the bench and stability behind the big desk upstairs.
When Chris Knoblauch first came in, and we were sort of taking a bit of a measure of him, what's he going to be like? Didn't really know him at all. I just remember thinking how sort of methodical he was with his answers, how thought out he was. And then as I got to see him kind of, dealing with his players out on the ice at practice, watching the way he interacted with guys, even just little chit chats after the media veils, the way he was. Struds, there's a demeanor about him. It's just really, really authentic. He is still the exact same guy today that he was that very first day back then. There is this nature that he has about him that is very genuine. And, not all coaches subscribe to this way of doing things, and everybody's got different personalities. But I think he's just been really steady and consistent in his temperament would be a word that I would use.
I think that's one of the best features I can see from not being in the dressing room is he's calm. He's calm on that bench. And I didn't like coaches that yelled, not that it hurt my feelings. It's unsettled the rest of the guys and the bench, just constantly yelling. And then when there is a time to really yell, now we're like, well, we've just heard you yell for the last 60 minutes. Your yelling doesn't make a difference now. Very calm demeanor. I think Connor Leon can run hot, and I think he is that guy that can help balance them out. So I really like that constant demeanor from him.
Let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox and hear again from the head coach. Their end of season AC sale is on now till the end of October. Get up to 20% off any in-stock air conditioners. Visit wjjingle.com for exclusive specials. Just forgot your back, jingle lovers. wjjingle.com.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local and family.
So Knoblauch was asked about the influence that some of his coaches had on him in being the way that he is. And he talked about how he felt really fortunate because the coaches that he had through his playing career, he felt always treated him with respect. And he knows that isn't always the case, especially that old school hockey coach, that yeller, that, whatever, that can be a little bit hard on guys. Knoblauch talked about kind of his experience being treated that way and then transitioning into a coach and having decisions to make about which way you're going to go as a coach.
And I believe they all treated me with respect, and I know as a player I appreciated that. And, going through my early on in coaching, and especially during times when you're going through a slump and other coaches crack the whip a little bit more and they're harder on players and maybe not treating with them full respect. And sometimes as a coach early on, I was tempted to maybe go down that path, and maybe what I was doing wasn't right, but I felt that, I just stayed true to what I believed in. And, I think it was, no matter what profession you're in, in your sales or whatever work it is, you're probably going to get the most out of people if you show them respect.
What do you think, Struds? I like the sounds of all that.
Just because you don't yell doesn't mean you can't get your point across. And you need to be clear. You need to be direct, I think, with your players and tell them this is what we need you to do. This is how we need to work. And then you take away or give ice time based on how they're producing or not producing at that time. So I completely agree. I think there is a time to, paint the peel off or paint the paint off the walls, but it can't be every night between every period and every shift. There needs to be a time to raise it up and time to bring it down. And the times you're raising it up should be very few and far between.
Kayla Weethorn says Schauger might need to get another microphone for backup. I think that one's about to bite the dust. Steve, are we having a problem with the mic, or does it sound okay? What's Kayla talking about?
I think there was a moment there where you were a little bit choppy internet-wise, but you were fine.
Oh,
it's not the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Producing on the fly here as
positive.
always. Yeah. We got new mics. Both Struds and I got new fancy mics this year.
Yeah.
Hey, Struds, Randine and I were listening to the pod the other day, and there was a remark made about how clean and crisp your audio is, Struds, that the new microphone is working wonders for you. Yeah, you've got a bit of a squeaky voice, and it really brings out the baritone, the manliness in your voice.
Yeah, no, it's just like my jeans, tight. I think it's great. So
Thanks for that, Kayla. Alec Regula has been a good story here, Struds. We've had an interesting time watching him and not really being sure what to expect. And then all of a sudden realizing, this guy's got some pretty legitimate game. Like he looks good out there after a year off of hockey. We were talking about Noah Philp in a similar fashion at last year's training camp. This guy hadn't barely played and looks good. Well, it's Alec Regula this year. And he's taken a run at this thing. And he's put the Oilers in a position where they do not want to lose this player on waivers. And despite the fact that it's uncomfortable with the numbers, they're probably going to have to figure out a way to keep him hanging around. Here he is back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox talking about all of last season and the grind it was not playing, trying to get better. Injury kept getting worse, and how thankful he is to be here.
By far the hardest thing I've had to go through, and might be the hardest thing I will have to go through. It was very challenging. There was a lot of, not a lot, but there was definitely some dark days there. There was definitely some days I didn't think I would be in this position where I'm at now, and it was hard to kind of keep seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm just very grateful for being claimed and being a part of this organization. I think I definitely wouldn't be here if that didn't happen. The staff, I can't say enough good things about them. The medical staff, they worked tireless hours with me last year. Just the amount of times we had to go back to the drawing board, things weren't working, setbacks. It was just very, very grueling, honestly, and they just always had a positive mindset, always kept working with me, kept me seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm just very, very grateful for that opportunity and the chance to come here and get back to where I am.
Well said, Struds. That was interesting.
it's, I can tell you, I've never been injured for that long. I think the most I missed was maybe 4 weeks, fast healer. But when you're not really on the team. I guess you're technically on the team, but you're in the organization, but not on the team. It's lonely. You're grinding away. You're working a lot of times away from when the guys are there. And it's awful. It's painful and it can be lonely. And then if there are setbacks, like you talked about, well, what the hell have I been doing the last month? And also I'm not any further ahead than I was 2 months ago. So it can be really tough. I think it's more mental than anything. And the training staff for the Oilers, they are incredible people and they will help you push through that and get through it. It's the same with Zach Hyman, same with all the guys that have come back from long-term injuries. So give them a lot of credit, but I got to credit Regula because he kept coming. He showed up every day, did his work, and now here he is pushing for, an NHL spot when many of us, we weren't expecting that heading to the camp.
All right. Some roster decisions to be made. Roster needs to be set early next week. And we'll see how this goes. I think it's likely that a few guys get sent down and then brought back up if they want to LTIR Hyman eventually. But I think they have the flexibility they need, Struds. And where Regula is concerned, I mean, Stetcher and Emberson, neither have been strong enough and stake their claim enough to me to risk Regula at this point. So it was an active night for Stetcher tonight. He was a little all over the place, eh?
Yeah, it was. I thought, it wasn't the greatest night, but you know what he is. I feel very comfortable telling you that when you need him, he's going to be there and he'll step up. He is the perfect 6, 7, 8 defenseman, the perfect one. Now our team's interested in picking those guys up, on October 5th or whatever it's going to be if he gets word to be put on waivers, and that's the risk. But carrying 8D when 5 are playing all the time, and I'm assuming that Wallman's ready to go for the beginning of the season, that's a lot of extra guys. So you're rotating 3 guys through, especially one in Regula that should be playing way more, as well as Emberson. Stetcher can sit for a month and come back and play. He's a vet. He can do it. The other 2, they need to play minutes.
All right. That was our takeaway segment brought to you by HSE Core Services. Steve-O, we got Brownie sniffing around, or what's his...
He's sniffing.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, friend.
He's having some audio issues on his end, so...
Oh, okay. How's it going, Brownie?
Can you hear me?
Pal?
Can you see me?
Oh,
I
we can hear you.
I think your sound is coming
mic,
through
though.
your I think it's your computer mic and speakers. So none of the fancy stuff is seems to
Steve,
be
why don't you guys re-rack that, see if you can get them in on the good microphone. Struds and I will get the scoreboard done here. In
Sounds
the meantime, brought to you by The Bridge Sports Therapy. What sets The Bridge apart? Fully integrated model where physiotherapists, chiropractors, massage therapists, and strength coaches collaborate seamlessly as one team. With clinics at Edmonton, Short Park, Lethbridge, and opening soon in St. Albert, they provide accessible team-based care across Alberta. Learn more at thebridge.fit. Oh, it's going to be nice when we're talking about teams actually picking up points in games that actually have a little bit of meaning, Struds. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. There was 5 on the slate tonight, 11 games tomorrow, then we're done. So we're down to 11 games at this point. As I mentioned, the Penguins beat the Sabres in OT. Sid Crosby had 2 goals, the 4th and 5th. Frankie Nazar gets his 4th goal of the preseason as the Blackhawks unfortunately lose to the Wild. So Nazar signed a big deal. When that deal came across, people weren't, that's an incredible deal, who's Frank Nazar? I know a lot of my friends did. The Jets win in a shootout over top of the Calgary Flames. The Flames, Nazem Kadri gets a nice goal on a nice pass. And then the Sharks I think the Sharks are poised to be better this year. Not great, but better. They beat the Golden Knights tonight just to kind of get themselves, feeling better about the way they're feeling. So new young players there. Ethan Cardwell gets a couple goals, and Edmontonian Zach Ostapchuk gets an assist. So, yeah, pretty 11 games to go, buddy. Then we're free.
Giddy up. Regular season starts on Tuesday. Oilers are not on deck until Wednesday against the Calgary Flames. Our scoreboard brought to you by The Bridge Sports Therapy. Let's run to a break here, Steve. We'll let you get things reset. When we come back, we've got Brownie Points, Struddy's World, Take a Lap, Ask Us Anything. Get your questions in for myself, Struds. Maybe we'll even keep Brownie around for that. Lots more still ahead here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta. Check that.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit BelvedereGCC.com today.
There we go.
There it is. Time now to take a couple of laps, brought to you by Riverside Motorsports, family owned and operated, serving Edmonton and area for over 55 years. They feature top brands like Yamaha, Suzuki, Polaris, Husqvarna, and Gas, delivering the best selection in Alberta, a massive inventory of parts and accessories, and recognized as the #1 KTM dealership in the country. Check them out at www.riversidemotorsports.com or stop in their store just off of St. Albert Trail. Struds, some news and notes and tidbits and such from around the league.
Yeah, these guys are getting signed up in the last restricted RFA. Obviously, that's what a restricted is. Left in the league, Luke Evangelista signed a contract with the Predators today, which is a bit of a surprise. Like, this should have been an easy one. You know, bridge deal, younger guy, signs 2 years times $3 million. I'm not sure what the player and the GM were kind of going after here, but at the end of the day, he's now ready to go, coming back to take part in Nashville's little bit of camp here. But I don't know, a young player, and it's not like this was a 9-year deal. It's a 2-year deal.
Yeah, I know. How did that have to be such a grind to get to those numbers in that term and that kind of thing? And by the way, how are you feeling about the Preds? I'm looking at a lot of season prognostications, whereas last year people were like, oh, all these new signings and all this and that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are picking that team to do much of anything this year.
No. Yeah. And I think they have had a lot of things go wrong last year, but I still looking around at centers. Who are their centers going to be? And that is a concern if I'm a Preds fan. Kind of a crazy trade. This one, I'm trying to wrap my head around. 2 fighters got traded for each other. The Sens and the Devils hook up. McDermott from the Devils, and then McEwen from the Senators. Both of them didn't play much last year, but McDermott's more of a D-man. He's tough. He played a grand total of what did he play? 23 games at 6 minutes per game, so not a ton of ice time. The Zach McEwen's a bit of more rugged forward, big guy that can fight. So yeah, really interesting. Now the difference is McDermott has second year of his 3-year contract, and I believe that McEwen is wrapping it up after this year. So maybe they were looking to swap that out, but seeing like 2 fighters at any point is interesting. Seeing them traded for each other, it's like finding a T-Rex at a petting zoo.
One of them is a little more functional in his toughness than the other, though, wouldn't you say? Like better player there overall than McEwen, would you say? Do you think?
I guess. I mean, yeah. I mean,
not so
I
much.
guess on
They are
that
what
scale. On that scale, I suppose. I mean, how much McEwen spent most of the years? You know, he played 20 games in the minors last year. Got, I guess, 3 points. 23 in the minors.
McDermott was just dragged around. He was just dragged around as a healthy scratch for most of the season. Ended up with no points.
He was
first like 0 points all season. Yeah.
No.
Anyway,
no, I mean, yeah. I listen. I just thought it's not so much these are earth shattering. It's just interesting that they each got traded for each other. Then finally, David Kampf, Toronto Maple Leafs. It's been rumored they've been trying to get rid of him, trying to trade him. No one took him. Still 2 years left on his deal at $2.4 million. He was put on waivers. I'd be floored if he was picked up. Since his second year in Toronto, his production's gone down. And that seems like a hefty price tag for this player at $2.4 million for 2 more years.
Yeah, I went there with some promise. Like there was a point in time where you were kind of like, okay, maybe there's something there with this player. And it's gone the wrong way. Wasn't able to get a toehold, take advantage of some opportunity he was given. It's gone the wrong way for him, Struds.
Yeah, his first and second year in Toronto looked good. And then his third and fourth have kind of been going sideways. Who knows if he can get himself going again. But at $2.4 million, I have a hard time expecting that to pick up.
That was taking a couple of laps, brought to you by Riverside Motorsports. Steve, if you got that Struddy's World intro ready, go ahead and roll it, bud.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good. When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
That's why it is time for Struddy's Worlds, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. DLR Vinyl is excited to introduce DLR PVC Decking as Alberta's premier distributor for Vecca Deck and Wolf Serenity. They offer exclusive high-quality boards with a pure PVC core, completely resistant to water, mold, and insects, UV protection to keep the color and wood grain looking like new. No sanding or staining required. Stocked in Edmonton and Calgary. Visit www.dlrvinylproducts.ca. Do we have a functional Rob Brown? 1212, Brownie.
Well, I'm not sure I'm functional, but I'm here.
Well, there you go.
That sounds way better. Way better. Struds, take the floor, my friend.
I've been to rodeos before. I've been to bull riding. But the other night I went to watch the PBR down here at Rogers. And I've never seen bareback bronc riding before in my life. Not that I remember, at least maybe when I was really young. I can't believe how tough these humans are to get back on sort of get on that back with nothing but just a little rope to hold you on. And the way that these guys are being tossed back and forth, it's absolutely incredible. I was riveted. I'm a fan. I'm a massive fan now. And I think these guys are as tough as anyone I've ever seen compete in any sport because they get absolutely ragdolled on the back of this massive bronc that's just trying to kick them off and get something that's maybe pinching its pretzels. So I love it. I'm a fan now, and I look forward to the next opportunity to go watch these great athletes go for it.
It's funny. I went a few years ago. Johnny Winwick, who's a friend of all of ours, he took my son and I to as I get my camera straight. I'm doing really good here tonight.
Yeah.
But Johnny Winwick took my
Going
son and I
well.
to a bull to the CFR, and we went down and we wanted to get a picture of my son in front of the bull. And I'm like, son, back up, Ben, back up, back up. He went right up against the railing, and the bull came and head-butted the railing. My son flew about 25 feet. I got a picture of him with his hands in the air, the look of fear on his face. That's when I learned that me and my son, not tough enough to be at a rodeo, not even to watch it.
Couple years ago, really dug in and watched, like actually watched start to finish with someone that was more knowledgeable, asked a bunch of questions, like really paid attention, and found myself quite entertained and looking forward to it the next day. Haven't had the opportunity to see it live like that, but definitely put it on the to-do list. And I don't know, guys, toughest athletes are, I mean, you got the MMA fighters and boxers, like actual combat athletes, it's maybe a little bit of a different level. But outside of combat sports, I mean, are maybe rugby Struds in terms of overall toughness of player to do what they do? But
Yeah,
I mean, they got to be right up there.
they're up there. And the thing is, the animals they're riding on are a lot bigger than the biggest rugby players. Like, they're huge. And I know they want to make it look good. It looks like they're getting ragdolled, and I understand that part of it. But yeah, I tell you what, I was sitting right behind them. Now, not like front row, but I could see them get onto these massive animals. And my God, I was blown away. I can't wait. I put a note in my phone, get tickets for next year. We're going to go. It's a lot of fun.
How about the rodeo clown? The guy that has to go out there and get the bull to chase him so that the
Yes.
cowboy can't get hurt. That might be
Yeah.
one of the toughest and silliest athletes out there.
That's gutsy.
Yeah, it's running for your life.
That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Okay, we roll right along into Brownie points tonight, since we actually have Brownie in person. Brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. 2025 Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Visit your Alberta Ram dealer to get into this award-winning truck at a competitive price. Capable, stylish, powerful, it is Ram, as you know. Brownie, what do you got for us tonight, buddy?
Well, I'm going to start with minus 91 brownie points to Canucks, Evander Kane. One of the biggest issues with Evander last year when he played for the Oilers was taking needless penalties at inopportune times. We saw that a lot in the Florida series. I know it's only an exhibition game, and I know this game meant nothing. But if you're trying to make an impression with your new team, you don't take a silly penalty 5 seconds into a 5-on-3 power play. Just an absolutely silly penalty for Evander Kane. That is not a good start to start showing that you are a different player than you were before. I got 8 brownie points to the exhibition season being over. The Oilers played 8 games for possibly the last time in their NHL history, as the NHL next year goes to 4 exhibition games, which is good because 8 was about 4 games too many this year. I got 28 brownie points to one of the most exciting players in the National Hockey League, Vancouver Canucks, Quinn Hughes. He is the defenseman version of Connor McDavid, always moving, always dangerous, and easily the best player on the ice tonight. In an absolutely nothing game, Quinn Hughes played almost 28 minutes in this game tonight. I've got minus 44 brownie points to me for absolutely messing up my headphones tonight. I, like the Oilers, want this exhibition season to be over, and I will be in regular season form next week. And my final brownie points tonight is a little bit different. This is the exhibition season standings of brownie points. This year we'll be doing something different. Each month we will have the standings and the brownie points. So right now in first place with 44 brownie points is Zuby. In second place, right now in silver medal contention with 2 brownie points, is Schauger. In third place, although I did not win an award, I am in third place at minus 44 brownie points. And right now, pulling in the participation ribbon, it is the plaid ribbon with minus 109 brownie points, is my friend, Jason Strudwick. And that tonight is the last exhibition brownie points of the 2025 season.
Remember how you got there, Struds? Remember what you did? You tried to do it again tonight.
I have the memory of a goldfish. So I'm just moving forward. I'm just looking ahead, and I'm going to earn those points back.
I seem to recall, Brownie, that Struds would rather us start the show rather than wait for you. And
I also recall. Did he do it again tonight?
He campaigned again tonight to keep you off the show because he needs to go to bed.
Wow. Well, I do notice, though, that on Monday night, we were going to start the show at 9, and Jason asked if we could start it later. Can we start it at 9:30 for Jason? So when it's your night, we'll start it later.
Fair point. That's fair. That is fair, Brownie. And for that, I'll give myself 50 points for being such a good team player. So I'm back up to
work like that.
minus 59.
It doesn't work like that. You can't. No. I like the way this dynamic is. I like the way this early season dynamic is going between the two of you, though. There's some friction, and it's deep seated. This isn't small stuff. He literally doesn't want you on the show. So you keep that in mind for next show's brownie points because you didn't know that.
Wow.
And with that, Struds, I'm booting you off the show. You don't get to stay for the rest of the show. You're out of here, and Brownie and I are going to handle the rest. Ask us anything. So go to bed.
Oh, all right. Good luck, guys. This is great. Great seeing you, Brownie.
See you, Uncle Struddy. Go to bed, pal. Those are brownie points. Brought to you by the Alberta Ram Dealer. See you, Struds. One more quick break. When we come back, ask us anything. Any questions you got for Brownie, for myself, for Steve. Can be hockey related, can be life related, anything. It's exhibition season. So really, ask us whatever the heck you want. We don't care. When we come back, we will wrap up our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll as well in our play of the day. Stay with us. This is Got Your Back, presented by Timber Haas Developments.
Choosing to buy a home is one of the biggest financial and personal decisions you'll ever make. It's a decision that requires strategic planning, market expertise, and a trusted advisor to guide the way. The team at Body Realty with Royal LePage AR team combines deep market knowledge, forward-thinking guidance, and exceptional dedication to make the process effortless and stress-free. Where every client is treated like the only client, visit BaddyRealty.com, a real estate group like no other.
All right, let's keep the show rolling with our Ask Us Anything segment, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies, an Edmonton-based independent electric wholesaler offering a wide range of products from lighting and lighting controls, wiring, accessories, control and hazardous products, you name it. They probably have it in stock, serving electrical contractors working in Alberta's oil and gas, commercial, residential, and OEM sectors. They're a one-stop shop. Check them out at bjelectric.ca. Steve, let's wrap up our YouTube poll. Brownie, it was about, looks like you need to get your shot squared away there, so I'll just remind everybody. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. Brownie, we were talking tonight about the Oilers' penalty kill looking a little bit dicey, and you can weigh in on this. It was the subject of our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll, the idea being, where is the Oilers' penalty kill going to finish up this season? Top 10, middle of the pack, or bottom of the barrel? Steve, you can wrap up that poll, but Brownie, what have you seen from the penalty kill, and what do you think?
Well, I haven't seen any consistent players that their Oilers are going to use, and it goes back to some of the players the Oilers let go in the McLeods, the Fogels, players that were penalty killers for this team when they were good. I liked the way they penalty killed last year. I liked the aggressiveness. When I played as a power play, I hated an aggressive penalty killing unit. It just didn't give you any time. And we've seen when the Oilers power play is at its best is when a team is passive against them. So I have not seen anything so far in the preseason. It's too early to predict, but their penalty killing unit has not been as effective yet. And it's a bunch of guys trying to learn their roles, but it has not been near as effective as we've seen in the past.
How'd the poll look, Steve?
Okay, so the poll results are in. We had 64% of respondents saying that the Oilers' penalty kill will finish at in the middle of the pack. So the safe answer.
Okay.
25%, however, think that they will end up in the top 10, and only 11% think they're going to be bottom of the barrel.
Oh, optimism reigning supreme in preseason. Hey, Brownie. People just, it's only preseason, nothing to see here, nothing to worry about. I just don't love the way they're so passive on the blue liners, man. It feels like a shooting gallery.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the Oilers, when they were at their most successful a couple of years ago in the playoffs, is they were very aggressive. And I think that being too passive just allows the opposition, like a Quinn Hughes, all the time in the world to make the decision what he wants to do. And right now, I like, can you think of who the Oilers' penalty killers are right now? Can you just say, here's their 3 sets or their 2 sets? I don't think we've even established that yet right now. So the best 2 penalty killers we've seen thus far in the preseason have been Connor and Leon. They've been the most effective, and I don't think that's the way the Oilers want to run it out this year.
All right, Steve. I saw one from Jen there saying, I just want to say every time the theme song kicks in, it makes me very happy. We were joking the other night about how much we love the new retro music and that maybe that should become the theme. Donna was not happy about that. My mom, Donna, chimed in right away, said, don't you dare change the theme music. It's classy. It's unique for your show. So I don't think we'll be changing the theme music, but love the retro edition this year.
Well, I have a question for you. I don't know if you've noticed in the last couple of shows, Zuby and I have played a new 70s edition theme of the version of the theme song, and that's been playing during the scoreboard.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So the 70s I almost
really?
prefer to
play
the 80s.
It right now.
It's
Let me hear some. Let's hear some of it. What do you got? I missed that because we're always doing the scoreboard.
It's subtle.
Okay, play the 80s one now, and then we'll see which one we like better.
Just moving a decade
this
at a
start.
time. This is so good.
And this synthesizer coming in here. Brownie, you're a big music guy, buddy.
Yeah, but for some reason, I can't hear any of them. I
Really?
can't hear anything.
Oh, you
that's
can't
being
hear
played.
them?
No.
Oh, that's
It's
too
like
bad.
when I'm in my car doing the show with you guys, I can only hear the music. I can't hear you guys. So I think there's something wrong. with
Yeah.
me. Literally,
All right, no
something
problem.
wrong with me.
Well, let us know what you think on the stream, folks. You like the 70s version or the 80s version better? But don't worry, Donna, Mom. We will not be changing our core theme. Steve, what else we got, buddy?
Okay, Avi Hoffman. We talked about this a few times now, and including a poll in a previous episode. But now the preseason's over, who do you think will take Hyman's spot on the power play until he's back? Brownie.
Well, it looks like it's going to be Tomashik to start with. He got the looks tonight, and this was a pretty set lineup for the Oilers tonight. They had most of their players in. So I would say Tomashik to start with, and then we'll see how that goes. I thought he looked fine. They scored the one goal on the power play, and then nice play. The one where McDavid hits him and he deflects it. That was a nice deflection, just a better save by Demko. So I think that'll start with Tomashik, and then we'll go from there. And then when Hyman comes back, he moves right back to his spot.
You got an idea yet on what they have in Tomashik, Brownie? Because I'm still completely unsure which way this is going to go.
Well, it's funny. He on the power play, and they asked him on Ched tonight between periods because he was interviewed, and they asked, have you ever stood in front of the net on a power play before? And he hadn't. And he wouldn't because he's a playmaker. And we saw the really nice play that he made to set up the cap and goal. That's where he's effective. Now, if you get a chance to play on the power play for the Oilers, you're going to do whatever the coach tells you. And he did a good job. The screen, he stayed right in front. He didn't move the way that Milan Lucic used to move out of the way and try to hit the puck. He stayed in front of the eyes of Demko, so that was good. Do I know what they got in Tomashik yet? No, I don't. I think that he made a nice play in the Kapanen goal, but was quieter tonight. And as was Howard, was much quieter tonight. Savoy was the only one of the young players, I think, that you really noticed in this hockey game playing against a true NHL team.
Some quick feedback on the themes. So when we were playing the 70s version, Jen said, oh, dang, that slaps. We had Matt Blom say the synthwave theme is better. Then we've got Clinton saying 80s all the way. We've got Paulie said they're both good. And Mars Boy said, okay, now it's time for a grunge version. He wants the 90s grunge version.
Yeah, we can do that.
We'll
keep an eye on it, Steve, and whichever one clearly wins, that's what you can roll as the theme music to wrap up the show. By the way, not to age myself, but when she said it slaps, does that mean that it's a good thing or a bad thing? Is that
That's a positive
vote in favor of?
Yeah. That slaps.
So slaps is good. Okay, it slaps. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Brownie?
No, I had no idea what that meant.
All right, what else, Steve? What
Okay,
else?
Kevin McCurdy said he felt the passing consistency tonight wasn't very good for the most part. What did you think? Did you notice anything with the Oilers' passes tonight, Brownie?
Yeah, I thought it was off. I mean, right from their top players. I thought that was the most giveaways from McDavid that you'll see in a game all season long. I thought his passes were off. Number of them were deflected, were picked off. Draisaitl, it was sloppy. I thought, and Knobloch said it best. He said the second period they were very good. First and third they were sloppy, and I 100% agree with that.
By the way, really happy to see Kevin McCurdy on the stream. Always love having you as part of the show, buddy. So thank you for your contribution. I'm going to grab one here. Steve from Gong Show says, very concerned about where the secondary scoring and with a shaky PK. And if the goaltending gets wonky, how many losses before it's time to hit the panic button and trade talk eats up? I'm not going to so much acknowledge the back half of that. That's a little bit of a panic back half of that text. But the secondary scoring, Brownie, is something that Struds and I were talking a little bit about. I'm looking at this roster and I'm thinking, man, in the early going here of this season, where's the guarantee of any form of secondary scoring, especially with Nugent Hopkins driving a line from center without, a star on either side. That's not necessarily his wheelhouse for producing offense.
No, I agree. I agree that there's a lot of pressure now on their power play and a lot of pressure on their first line to score. And in all honesty, I haven't loved Frederick on the first line. I think it takes away one of his strengths, which is physicality. He's got one hit in the 3 games that they've played together. He doesn't, and it's because he doesn't have to hit because they have the puck all the time. But really, you're not seeing a whole lot of grade A scoring chances from lines 2, 3, and 4. And yeah, that will be a concern. Without Hyman in the lineup, and putting Connor and Leon on the first line together, you really, really take away what you can throw out second, third, and fourth lines and what they can create offensively. And that puts is and the one thing that you talked about and Strud talked about, you didn't want to put too much pressure on a Savoy or a Howard, young players. Well, where are the other offensive players? They are the offensive players in lines 2, 3, and 4. So the pressure is certainly on those guys to produce here at the beginning of the year.
All right, let's move away from hockey a little bit and have some fun. So Paulie says he's got his first flight to Paris next month. Furthest flight he's ever flown is just to Vancouver. So any tips for the long flight from you guys? What do you guys like to do on long flights?
Yeah, get off your wallet and move to the front of the bus is what I would say. Get one of those lay down pods where you get to just watch movies and eat peanuts and drink wine. You know, it'll cost you about 15 grand, but suck it up. It's totally worth it.
Well, if you don't have the money that Rishaug has, you do what the rest of us do. You have 2 drinks and a gummy, and you put on your headphones.
We're not advocating for mixing your. We're not advocating that as a cocktail for anybody.
It's after midnight. We're allowed to say that.
Yeah.
You try to help yourself, please. Take NyQuil. There you go. Take some NyQuil before you go on an airplane. I try to fall asleep when I go on an airplane. Put my headphones on and push the seat back. But it doesn't matter. When you land, you may not have slept the entire way, and you're in Paris. You will find energy. Do not worry about how long the flight is. Your first day in Paris is going to be fun no matter what. You will not need a nap. You are somewhere other than here.
Grab an iPad and download Black Rabbit, and there's nothing I like more than knocking off good series on planes. That's what I do. Like in the playoffs, I crush series after series when I'm on the road.
One more series. If you're going on that, Shogger, the House of Guinness. That's got to be your next show. It's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. The House
Quick
of
synopsis.
Guinness. Very, very good.
Quick synopsis.
Yep, very good. Well, it's about Guinness. It's how Dublin, it's how the Guinness family and what they've done and how they became as big as they are. It's quite intriguing. Very, very good show.
Brownie seldom disappoints with his recommendations for TV and movies. So
good to know.
I'll check that out as well. Kayla.
2 more, Steve.
All right. Well, this one's really fluffy. Kayla thought it was so sweet of Connor to pet the puppy dog at the ceremonial puck drop. I thought
you know what? I have to say, man, like, holy smokes, watching that was emotional, what that family had been through, and holy smokes. And I will say, Connor, you could tell very much like took a minute to say some nice words to the family. It wasn't just the obligatory handshake and move on or whatever. I thought he handled that well. I thought the Canucks in-house, I thought that was handled well. Just gut-wrenching stuff. But yeah, definitely noticed that he gave the puppers a little love too.
Yeah, he's a dog lover. Dog lovers will go pet anybody's dog. So yes, 100%.
Yeah.
What's his? Lenny is his? Is that the name of his? Lenny is his dog, I think. Lenny. Okay, there you go.
Chris Whelan says, Rishaug, what side sleeper pillow did you get?
I don't know how to show you which one I got. I got one of the side sleeper pillows that has like, it's got the spot where your neck can lay, like it kind of goes, I don't know, it kind of goes like this, down, and then up again, and your neck goes in the middle. Then it's also got a spot where when you're on your side, your arm, you're not laying right on your arm. So I don't know the name and make of it, but I'm still sleeping on it every single night. And I'm not lying. I'm going to the Olympics for almost a month in February. I'm probably going to buy one and have it shipped to the hotel so that I can have it while I'm there, because it's making that much of a difference in how I feel when I get out of bed in the morning, Brownie.
What do you think, Brownie? What kind of pillow do you sleep with?
I don't know whichever one my wife lets me sleep with.
He's speechless.
Do you have your name printed on the pillows anywhere in felt marker?
No. Every morning I wake up and I think, I got to grab one of those pillows from down in the basement. Then I don't remember again until I'm back in bed the next night. So yeah, we have bad pillows, and then I just get stuck rolling around and hurting my neck. But then again, I take some NyQuil, gummy, and 2 drinks, and I fall asleep and everything's good.
We're not advocating for that. Is that it, Steve?
No,
Is
we're
that
not.
the two?
Brownie After Dark. Yeah, that can be it.
Yeah, Brownie After Dark. You need your own pod. Brownie After Dark for sure. Got your back after dark. Rob Brown, limited edition. That was our Ask Us Anything segment brought to you by BJ Electric. Let's wrap the show with our play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer, your trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacement, experts, water line repair and replacement as well. Slow drains are a sign it's time for attention, and aging lines can cause basement backups. Their trenchless method at Mainline, it's quick, low impact, and often they can get her done in a day for you, complete with backflow protection. Visit mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. I have one in mind here, Brownie. Not sure if you have anything in mind, but I would say, considering it's exhibition season and these guys are just trying to get out of there, not hurt, the competitor in Tyler Myers late in that game, blocking a shot from about 15 feet away, totally selling the farm and blocking that shot was gutsy, and he, look, I think it was a tie game at that point, and he didn't want to let it through. So probably not the best play that happened anywhere today, but it stood out to me in that game.
Well, it stood out to his teammates too. Like they panned the bench, and there was a loud roar when he did it. I mean, this was a nothing game, and to be able to do that, good for him. I would have gone with the Garland goal. That was pretty. The game-winning goal tonight for the Vancouver Canucks was a very pretty goal from, at one point, enemy number one for Edmonton Oilers fans, Connor Garland.
That was your play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer. Brownie, I'm really happy to have had you on the show tonight, and I want you to know if it were just entirely up to me, there wouldn't have been any doubt at all. I've been fighting hard with Struds. He's trying to kind of cut your minutes back a little bit here. I'm going to do my best not to let it happen. Just be aware of where it's coming from, and as you formulate your brownie points night to night, just keep that in mind.
Well, this is just like every other team I've been on. Eventually, I find the press box. It's okay. You're just another one in a long line of coaches that haven't cared for me.
Oh, poor Brownie.
All right. Steve, great job tonight, my friend. Thank you kindly, and we'll see you again soon.
You bet, boys. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. And thanks to all of you for joining us on the live stream. We had a great audience tonight. It's a late night, 8 o'clock start, exhibition play, yet still got your back. The live stream was hopping tonight. People still coming out to join us. We love you. Thank you for doing that. Next pod we're going to drop, I believe, will be on Monday. By the way, just quickly before we go, lots of chatter out there about the Hall of Fame room was booked and now it's not, and there's a press conference and this and that. I don't know if anything's going to happen Monday. The information I have right now is that nothing has changed and that nothing is currently planned. Could it change between now and then? Of course it could. So sorry to pop that little bubble. That's the information I have right now. But we'll get back to you on Monday night. We do believe Connor McDavid will probably be talking at least on Monday to just do a media availability to look ahead to the season. So we'll see what he's saying, and we'll chat with you all on Monday night. See ya.